A world forged in conflict, claimed as homeland by the exiles, conquered as territory by the Dominion. There is only one whose words we can trust. Geeks of Nexus.
Welcome to Geeks of Nexus. This is episode number 12 and we are recording on Sunday the 26th of July 2015. I'm your host Draycass, and with me this week I have a special guest. Sparky's not with us, he's on holiday. He's out in Cyprus or somewhere warm, laying on a beach somewhere, very, very jealous. So instead I have with me the wonderful Healshot. Hello Healshot.
Hello.
How are
everybody? I'm good. It's been a real day. Real good.
Good day. What have you been up to today then to make it so awesome?
Well, you know, I did the monster truck rally last night. If you guys were watching the stream last night, I was talking about it, and I have to say that was some of the loudest shit I've ever heard. I mean, literally rumbled, like I could feel it within me. That's how loud it was. So.
Are your ears okay today then?
A little bit. So loud.
So, for those of you that don't know Healshot, he's a streamer and YouTuber, well known for streaming quite a bit of Wildstar as well, isn't that right?
Oh yeah, Wildstar, you know, all kinds of stuff. If they make a game for it and it's fun, I play it.
Although last time I saw you, your face looked more like a raccoon.
Yes, we have fun shenanigans on the show, and sometimes I'm a raccoon, sometimes I'm a worm, you know, just whatever strikes my fancy that day.
I've used that worm before. People who saw one of my recent YouTube videos, I had quite a bit of fun with that worm. I did a Sky Saga video, and I used that little worm image after you told me what application you were using. I went and downloaded it and had some fun with that. It's good.
It's fun. It's something new and fresh, and not a lot of people were using it. And I figured, you know, give it a go.
Yeah, it's awesome. It definitely gives you a nice little character. So welcome to the show, and thank you for joining me. So I'm not on my own. We did have a break last week, pretty much because there wasn't a lot of news going on anyway. There's still not a lot of news going on. We've got enough to talk about. We'll be fine. We can blabber on for ages. And I thought, seeing as Sparky was on holiday, we'll just have a week off and start afresh this week. So here we are. I've got a couple of shout outs to do as well before we get going. Shout outs. We like shout outs. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't mention. You're quite good with your little voiceovers and stuff.
Yeah, I have fun doing it. Yeah.
So I was hoping Sparky would be here so you could have like a voiceover off or something.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
We'll do that. We'll plan that for another time.
Oh, yeah, we'll plan that. Yeah.
So the first shout out goes out to Scrappy Jack 81, who gave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Thank you very much, you awesome person, you. Which brings me to the Geeks of Nexus call to action. Because since the relaunch of the podcast, our old ratings disappeared. So we have like.
Oh shit!
I know, it's just all gone because we've got a different feed, you see, so it's coming from somewhere else. They probably think we're a new podcast, yada yada. So we would be uber grateful if any of you could get the time to pop over onto iTunes or your favourite podcasting app and give us a review. It all helps. So thank you very much. And also, for those of you on the EU servers, if you want to get into raiding, I would like to give a little bit of a shout out to my guild, my new guild over on the Exiles, which is Disaster Area. I don't know if you know Healshot, but when I first started playing Wildstar like last year, I started off with a little Aurin Esper, very cute little fluffy thing. Loved the Exiles, leveled them up to like level 25, and then all my friends got involved and started saying, no, you need to come over and play on the Dominion side, because they're like, you know, evil and cool and epic. So I had to start a new tune.
The dark side.
Exactly, it's pretty much what happened. So I ended up leveling my Kari medic up to level 50. And then I thought I just really missed my little exile character. So I've gone back and I've been leveling my Esper He's up to level 42 now, and in that process I joined this guild called Disaster Area, and they are the funniest bunch of people I've ever met. If you go onto their website, you'll kind of get a sense of their humour. It's disasterarea.engine.com, and the reason I'm doing this shout out is because they're doing really well on the raiding side of things at the moment. They're trying to get a little bit more into that side of it as well. And
isn't it amazing that there's only 8 guilds worldwide that have completed Datascape? Isn't that just mind-blowing?
It is mind-boggling, and we need to get more people raiding. I don't know whether it's just because of the amount of people don't want to go through achievement. I don't know what the problem is, but they're working their way through genetic archives at the moment. Just killed Kuralak the Defiler. But they're trying to get.
That's so cute.
Defiler. And they're trying to get some. They've basically got like 27 people that are attuned in the guild, but they want to get like regular days set down where we can get a regular 20 people during those days coming along and just get a little bit more committed to raiding. So if you are on the EU servers and you want to get into raiding, or you're already raiding and you want a guild that's going to be raiding regularly, I think they're looking at Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, then go along to disasterarea.engine.com and sign up, and happy days. Happy days. Are you,
sounds fun. Sounds fun.
Have you done any raiding in Wildstar?
No, I haven't done any raiding. I'm still attuning, and I don't even want to talk about Malgrave's Trail. I just don't even want to talk about it. Tried that like 3 times. It's just painful.
So let's start off with talking then about your views on Wildstar, and we'll get to maybe the niggly bits like attunement a little bit later. But
yeah. Well, I was late to the game, the Wildstar. I actually did the beta weekends, and I really enjoyed it. And then I was like, you know what? They were going to release it. I was like, it's not quite ready. It's not quite up to what I want to play. So I'm going to let it cook in the oven for a bit. And then right before I'm about to buy the game, Humble Bundle pops up. I'm like, I'm like, I can give the charity and get a great game at the same time. So I was like, you know what? I'll plop down my, $10 so that way it goes to a great charity and I can get a great video game. So that's what got me started. But I've been playing in the beta weekends, like I said, and I'll tell you what, letting it sit for a year was like the best move possible. I mean, it leaps and bounds way better than when I first started out, and I think that's a big thing. It's going to be that Cinderella story, I think, when Wildstar finally goes free to play, that people are going to be like, wow, this is not the game I played in beta, and I really should give it a second shot.
It's definitely, I've said it a couple of times on the podcast, but it kind of feels like now it's the game that they should have launched with. It's still got a few little things I need to sort out, which we'll probably discuss a little bit later, but it feels a lot more kind of finished and polished now than it did a year ago.
Definitely. It feels like what it should have been, like you said earlier, and it really feels like they took time and they really listened, because that's a big thing. They listened, and I think that's where they kind of stand out from the crowd. They listen to their users and go, well, you know what, 40-man raids aren't going to work as much as we want them to work. They just can't work. So let's really hammer it and get it back to what we want it to be. And I think they did a great job, and Carbine, hats off for listening.
Yeah. I mean, it's always going to be difficult when you've got a new game and you're trying to get people into raiding. I mean, maybe if they'd have started off with 20 and built up to 40, it might not have, that might have worked a little bit better. But starting off with the 40-man raids was probably where their problem was there, because people were just struggling to get the numbers together.
Yeah, and the performance issues, and I'm gonna complain about this for a while till they get it. Optimization is still an ongoing process with Wildstar, and I think if they can continue to tool it and make sure they're optimizing it, because right now it's in a great place somewhat for optimization, but they could do loads better, because I've seen a streamer that I still watch to this day. It's TJ. He's running 2 of the, I think it's 970s, the new 970s from NVIDIA, and sometimes he can get in places in that game and he goes down to like 5 FPS, and he's running 2 of those cards. So Yeah.
They've still got a lot of work to do, but they're getting there, and it's a fun game. That's the main thing. So, so what race and class do you play? What's your main?
Well, my main is an engineer, and I play a Mordesh because I like being a zombie. You know, and engineer's fun. I mean, it's got the playability of a range class, and then you can be a tank. I mean, what's better than being a tank range class? That's crazy.
I haven't played the engineer yet, but that does sound like just an amazing mechanic. And it must be slightly odd to start with, being a
It's
ranged tank.
totally odd. I mean, you're leveling up, and you're not tanking because you're used to being by yourself, or being with a little small group, going through zones, and all of a sudden now you can be a tank, and you're just like, wow, this opens up so much utility because you can move around and you keep threat like nobody's business. You're uber squishy. Well, not you're uber squishy. You rely heavily on those shields, and
you want them to stay far away from you.
Oh yes. Yeah, but very mobile, very mobile.
That's one of the good things about Wildstar, though, is that they've tried to take your sort of conventional roles, MMO roles, and just mix them up.
Definitely.
Which is nice. Like having a stalker tank as well.
Oh yeah, those guys are amazing. I've seen some great things from those guys. I'm just every time I see one tanking, I'm just like, wow. You're not even wearing heavy armor, and you're tanking like a boss.
And they sneak up behind you and stab you in the back, like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, what is your usual style of play when you're streaming? Do you like?
I'd like to do leveling streams, and I like to stream dungeons and stuff like that because there's plenty of raiders out there that are streaming, and those guys, my hats are off to them. I couldn't spend 6-7 hours just hitting my face against the wall trying to get those raids done because it couldn't be fun to watch. So I kind of want to get people into the game. So I show off classes and I level. I do my ship hands and stuff like that. I really just want to get people to realize that this isn't your standard MMO where you're just sitting there, you tab target, and you just sit there and hit your one button over and over. There's action involved. There's telegraphs. There's just so many things that Wildstar offers that no other MMO does. And one of the bigger ones is just you're mobile. You're constantly moving. It's not, sit back, I swing my sword, you swing your sword. It's, oh, he's going to swing his sword and, hit the ground. I can dodge and roll. And, it's just nuts. Like no other game has gotten to the fluidness of combat like Wildstar has as far as just being unique and bringing something different.
That's the one thing they've got spot on, isn't it? The combat system is just so dynamic and fun, and then when
I mean, losing your weapons. I mean, what other game? Literally, when they disarm you, they really mean it. They'll like throw it 10 feet behind you, and you got to run and
it's
go
like
get
fetch, isn't it? Go fetch! It's over there. And he's like,
Yeah,
come
and
on,
then-
head of stickers going. Where is it? Where is it? Hello.
Where the hell did I lose it? Where'd it go, Bobby?
That was quite funny.
Bobby, where did that sword go, man? We were just fighting this monster, and it went way over there. Where's it at, man?
Have you ever run to someone else's weapon as well? I've done that before.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there it is. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hang on
You
a minute.
accidentally go to somebody else's weapon. You're like, I thought that was mine. All right, whose sword is this? Bob, is this your sword? Come get it. This is yours.
Exactly, and even though like the low level dungeons and they do present a challenge as well. We and Sparky were talking about it last week. Where they put things in there that you just wouldn't expect from like a level 10 or level 20 dungeon.
Definitely.
That just keep you on your toes. So
That and the fact that like even when you're first getting to 50 and going back and doing some of the dungeons, they're a whole new experience and they're hard. Like going to Storm Talon and doing Storm Talon for the first time, it took me 2 hours before we beat Storm Talon. It was almost like a mini raid, and it's because they introduce so many mechanics and they keep it fun. I mean, there's like so much movement. It's constantly engaged combat. It's not that sit back and relax style we're used to with like games like World of Warcraft and most of your traditional tab target games that you can kind of breathe and relax. In this game, they're constantly keeping you engaged and got to look out for this mechanic and that mechanic and this mechanic. It keeps you engaged, and that's why I really gravitated to the game.
And one of the things that Carbon was sort of criticised for when they first brought out the game was they weren't bringing out enough for casual players. It was all sort of tuned at the people that were going for high-end trading. sort of more hardcore players. But now I think they've brought out, there's a lot more stuff to do in the game for casuals. But I also like to think that because the dungeons are so challenging, I suppose is the word rather than difficult, they're so challenging, I almost feel like if you don't have the time to commit to certain days of the week to go and raid, it doesn't necessarily matter because you've still got that challenge in the content of the dungeons itself.
Definitely. I mean, who can tout out there that they just started Wildstar and in their first week completed all the dungeons on veteran mode and got gold? Like, who can do that? That's impossible. I mean, it's not impossible.
I'd like to.
But let's say a whole fresh group, like you just hit 50, you've never played the game before, none of you know what's really going to go on. It's going to take you at least 2 to 3 weeks to get through most of those dungeons and clear them and get gold. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Challenge. It's where it's at.
I know, right? I'm tired of games hand-holding you through dungeons and just spoon-feeding you gear. When you finish a dungeon in Wildstar, you feel accomplished. You're like, yes! You know, you get that satisfaction, and it's just not like hitting bosses and making them loot pinatas. You're actually getting some challenge out of it and learning for the future. That's the thing. People don't realize you're learning for the future, for those future raids.
Yeah.
Some of those mechanics are going to, come back and you're going to be like, wow, I've seen that before. I kind of know what I'm doing. And that's the thing. They build on you. That's
training
the thing.
grounds, aren't they? Dungeons are training grounds for what's to come.
Exactly. And they really do it. And they really build you up in such a manner to where you're learning from that, you learn from your ship hands, that you learn from your adventures, that you learn from your dungeons, and then it moves on to raiding, and that's another thing. They like to build foundations in Wildstar. I see what you did there, Carbine. I see what you did there.
Nicely done, Carbine. Nicely done. So,
I know, right?
what's your favourite thing about Wildstar so far?
My favorite thing about Wildstar, all right, besides Hollow Wardrobe, you could spend hours making outfits, but I have to say housing.
So your thing is wardrobe. Sparky's thing is moving his forks in housing, and you like sorting out your outfit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love sorting out my outfits because you got to look nice and clean when you're going out onto the battlefield. But then the second one has to be housing. Housing, hands down, is some of the best I've seen in MMOs, and I've played them all. Oh god, played them all. But the big thing with the housing is the introduction of stuff like dungeons that you can lay on your plot. I mean, what other game out there goes, hey, you know what? You have a house, but let's just make a dungeon for your house too. And it's crazy.
Get your friends over, have a barbecue, and then, go and run a dungeon or two.
I know, right?
Go for it, and then make some wine while you're at it.
Stomp on those grapes. And they have tons of activities to do with housing. I've never seen a game have activities while you're hanging out at your house other than, using it for RP purposes. But just all the real functional things that you can do with housing is just amazing. Carbine did a great job about that. Keeping you engaged in housing other than just making it all aesthetic. They actually put function with aesthetic. And
it's created a whole new community in itself, isn't it? With the RP side of things, and just people who love making amazing housing. And we've got competitions running, which we'll talk about later. But that's just opened up the game to a whole new load of people. Just like to hang out.
Yeah, because you've got people that played stuff like Lord of the Rings Online, where they had housing, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it could have used some functionality, but then you get a game like Wildstar where you can have, your own bank, so you don't have to go to the town if you want to, if you're just wanting to do a little bit of crafting at your house. It's just, it's mind-boggling at all the things you can do with housing in this game. Crazy.
And how are you with forks, knives and forks? Sparky likes moving his knives and forks. He's got a bit of OCD.
I like messing with the plushies. I love getting all the plushies and lining them up and, having story time.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Yeah, just having my own little tea party, like I'm a little girl again.
I'd like to see that.
For the first
I'd like
time.
to see that on your stream. I think you should do that.
We'll have tea
YouTube
time.
video.
Oh yes, tea time with Healshot, and we'll have a cast of characters. That'd be fun.
Do it. I like that a lot. Okay, so if you could improve anything on Wildstar, what would it be?
What would I improve on Wildstar? Well, I've talked about optimization, so I'm not going to beat that dead horse. I'd have to say I want to see more events that happen in the world. I want to have that engagement with my fellow players while I'm out leveling. I know they have some events, but they don't seem dynamic enough. Like I want there's a great game out there called Rift. If you haven't tried it, look it up.
Yep.
They have these dynamic events that'll happen, whether it be rifts or invasions. It's something to engage you and get you out of your leveling zone and just be like, well, you know, they're about to have this invasion over here. Let's jump over there and have fun. And it just seems like it brings the community as a whole together outside of, you know, oh, I'm not going to sit there and queue for a dungeon. I want to go out and have fun with random people that I don't know. And the best thing is we don't have to be partied if we don't want to. We can all work to a common goal, and really, it's just crazy. I mean, they did it in Guild Wars 2. Hats down to Guild Wars 2. They did a great job of engaging the world, making you feel important whenever you accomplish a goal, because, you know, the dynamic events would cascade. And I think Wildstar would benefit for something like that. I'd like to see that in the future. More open world events, if that's
Make it a bit more three-dimensional, I suppose, with your leveling. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And it makes it feel like a breathing world instead of just your standard quest hub that, there's an event, but it happens up there and it's on a timer. I want something that engages me, that makes me want to go back. Like maybe there's a special mount or pet that I can get if I complete like 6 or 7 events and I get these special currencies and can turn it in. It would make players from all levels want to come and hang out, and I think that's what we need.
People will do anything for a mount or a pet.
I know, right?
People will do literally anything.
Anything.
Like, I think you should work for Carbine. You're coming up with some really good ideas here. We should put it on flow.
That's what happens when you spend your whole life playing MMOs in the basement.
Well, the thing is, that's what the good MMOs do best, is they take the good bits from other MMOs that work really well and sort of bring them in together. That's something that sort of WoW have done quite often. You get a new MMO that, like, when they did, it's gonna.
Yeah, but don't listen to your fans too much. I mean, look at WoW. You got selfies in WoW. I mean,
no, I'm not sure about that. That was not so good. But when I think when Star Wars: The Old Republic came out, and they had the AOE loot system where you just loot one and it loots all the corpses nearby, and then WoW were like, I like that idea. We'll take that on board.
Oh yeah, and then. You know, there's always those little things that a game will do, and you're just like, wow, I wish it would happen in this game. Then, like, 4 or 5 patches later, hey, we got the same thing, and then we made it shinier.
Yeah, exactly. So, Carbine, do it. We like that.
We're looking at you, man. We're looking. Watching.
So, you've already said that you've waited for the game for, was it a year or so? Or
about a year.
You didn't start when it first came out. Bought it in the Humble Bundle. And obviously news with it going free to play. What are your views on it going free to play? Are you concerned, or do you think it's an awesome, epic, amazing thing?
I think it's an awesome, amazing, epic thing, because your biggest asset in an MMO is other players.
Yeah.
They add content to your game, and a lot of games out there don't count their players as content. Because for me, if I want a PvP, I can't go up and queue against the mob. I got to queue against another player. So the more content that you can provide your player base, and your player base is your content. So why put those paywalls up in an age where some of your top AAA MMOs have decided, you know what, there needs to be a change, and changing to free to play, I just think is the evolution of the MMO. I think we're seeing the subscription model, at its last legs. Honestly, I
think you've got younger players as well that are coming up that are so used to this free-to-play model now. They're so used to not having to pay for games, and they're just jumping in and then, paying for nice cosmetic items that they might like.
Exactly.
So they're not used to this sort of subscription model that sort of people our age are used to. So
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah,
because I came up with Ultima Online, and my mom thought I was crazy. You have to pay $5 to play a video game? What's that all about? I'm like, Mom, it's you can play with all these people online, and I can play with people in China and England and all these crazy places. And now it's like, oh yeah, been there, done that. But
it's not new anymore, is it? It's old. Everyone's playing with each other anyway now. Yeah, it was all new to us. It's not new to the young'uns coming up. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And I think the biggest thing with the free-to-play change, it's going to not only open up everybody's eyes to a great game, but I think it'll actually benefit us because we can give more support to Carbine. Because yeah, most of us have our subscription, but let's just say, hey, wow, they came out with this new mount, and I want them to be able to develop more cool mounts. I know that that money is going to go towards them developing things that I want for the future. It's kind of like playing a game a la carte. You know, you buy what you want, but you get it and you're still full. You know, that's why I like it. Gaming a la carte. It'll
also force them, I think, to create more good content, because when players aren't paying for something, you have to give them a reason to engage in it. So you have to give them good gameplay and good mounts to buy. Otherwise, you're not going to get paid, are you? You know, people won't invest in something unless you do a good job. So.
And the crazy thing, there's other games that benefit from it. You saw a game called Rift. It's going to be on its 3rd expansion soon, and it's free to play. They made an expansion, a whole expansion, free to play, and it just boggles my mind the amount of work that they've put into it. And I think Wildstar is going to benefit from it. I can't wait to see Wildstar with their first expansion, even when it's free to play, because it shows a company that it can work, and I think it really will.
And they have got a game that people really love and engage with, because the amount of people that I've heard saying, "Oh, I can't wait to jump back into Wildstar," and it goes free to play, and they stop for whatever reason, whether it's because they couldn't afford it or they just didn't want to pay for 2 or 3 subbed MMOs. But you know, the content's there that people do want to play, and I do think people will hop back into it, and they will be surprised by how much it's developed over the last year. And I mean, it's exciting.
100,000 people for beta. I mean, wow. That's all I gotta say.
Wowsy.
Wow.
So before we go into the news, where can people catch your streams when you're streaming Wildstar and other games?
You can catch me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Healshot. And follow me on Twitter. Like, I'm a tweetophobic. I tweet all the time. I'm not a tweetophobic. I tweet all the time. You might find things that you might not necessarily want to read on my Twitter, but you can always catch me on Twitter. It's Twitter @Healshot. It's really easy. I keep it simple. So there you go.
Yeah, and watch the stream if you like to watch raccoons and worms. And
if you like, it's Twitch TV/Healshot. I play all kinds of stuff. Wildstar is the main game on the stream, but you will occasionally find me playing other really fun games. I like to play survival games because, again, I like to be engaged in my content, and what's better than having players as content? And that's why I play survival games. It's fun.
Exactly. Do you ever play with other players as well?
Oh yes, I play with my viewers all the time. Super interactive stream. Come by, ask questions. I'll give you opinions. And yes, everything I say is subjective because not everybody's going to agree. I like to agree to disagree on certain subjects, but at the end of the day, I value everybody's opinion, and that's the big thing on my stream. Your opinion does count. I might not agree with it, but it still counts.
Not everyone has to agree. It's boring. The world's boring if everybody agrees.
I know, right?
This is a thing, isn't it? Right, let's move on to what little news there is of the week.
News of the week.
Paper! Read all about it. Hey, Grano, hey, Big Bouncer, eat some of this nose over here. Hey, Chewer, this broadsheet's bigger than you. Hey, come on, guys, it's only 60 gold. Get back here.
News of the week.
Got like 2 sounds in one then as well. Got a sound of Healshot and a sound of Sparky. It was like epic sounders. So news of the week this week. We did get some more information about the combat system. They did a deep dive combat stat revamp from Stephen Meerkat Ingle, which came out on the 22nd of July. We're not going to go into it too much because we've already done stats to death over the last couple of podcasts, so we'll wait, I think, until we have maybe the final or a bit more news. But Healshot, what are your views on the new stat changes?
I think the old acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I think that applies here, and I think I think Carbine listened. I mean, having finesse and moxie, it's great and it's appealing for to keep your game different. But But at the end of the day, making it affect character classes in all different ways it just became mind-numbingly impossible to figure out. Oh, I'm an Esper, so I should use this, and then if I'm a engineer, I should use this. But the fact that they're making it, I hate people calling it a dumbing down. I think it is literally the smartest move Carbine's made in a while, because they're keeping it simple. And the simpler you can make something, as far as for understanding purposes, the better it is for your whole target audience. I mean, when you invite people over to your house and you're like, oh, well, when you come in my house, you got to go to the door on the left, the right, the upstairs, the downstairs, then go up, then go into the basement, and then you've reached the party. If you could just go, hey, guys, we're in the dining room, we're going to have a party. I think that's the better deal.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the content. It's just
exactly
easier to get there. Like we said previously, it's not, if people say it's dumbing it down, it's not dumbing it down. It's not difficult to Google something, but the moment you have to Google what is Moxie, and what is this, what is that. All you're doing is just saying, look, you haven't got to Google what Moxie is. No, you just look. It's assault power. It's simple.
Exactly. I mean, assault power works the same way for every class. It's not like we're Moxie. You got to go, oh, well, you look up what Moxie is. It tells you what it is, but then you got to figure out, oh, well, like I said before, I'm an engineer. How does Moxie affect an engineer? What does this, and this? Well, like I said, the party analogy pretty much hits the nail on the head for me.
Give me 2 seconds. I just have to open the door for my dog. He was literally starting to, whinge, bless him. He needs to go out. So he's going to start barking at me in a minute. He doesn't like being trapped in. So yeah, the stat changes. We've gone over it several times in the last couple of podcasts, but
thumbs up, Carbine. That's all I can say.
I'm hoping. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to work yet. We'll see when we get the beta and everything coming out, and we can actually give it a go. But the actual idea of it is a good thing. So we'll see how it goes.
What's up, cupcakes? Not got enough podcasts down your ear hole? Well, listen up, sunshine. There's some new geeks in town. Geeks of Nexus talk about the best MMO around, Wildstar.
Ha! Geeks of Azeroth are the one true podcast, like the war chief of the Iron Horde. Only we can provide the best witty banter and epic news drops.
Geeks of Nexus can too.
No, Azeroth.
Nexus.
Azeroth.
Nexus.
Call of Duty.
Well, let's be reasonable.
Alliance scum.
Whatever your game, head to www.epicgeeks.co.uk for articles, video reviews, live streams, and more. Our podcasts can even be found on iTunes, Stitcher, and Podkicker. See you on the other side, cupcake.
There's been lots of community events going on. So we're going to talk about that. Some things Healshot can't talk about because he's in the NA. Some things I can't talk about because I'm in the EU. And Healshot can talk about it because he's over on the NA servers. So this is why it's good having someone from over the pond on with us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I could be like, you could be like, they had some event happen on the EU. I'm like, cool. Tell me about it.
You know nothing.
I know nothing.
So this is one of those, Healshot. On Wednesday the 15th of July, so was it last week, a small team of Wildstar devs took their time to play some friendly PvP with players on Willatiki Temple over in the EU servers. So you might remember you had an event with the devs a couple of weeks ago over on the NA servers.
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't there. I had prior engagements with a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Fair enough. Get your priorities right. That's the main thing. But there were a lot of people turned up, and the servers didn't react very well, I don't think, to how many people turned up. So they decided they wanted to do an event for the EU as well. This is like their yearly anniversary event. But they decided to do something slightly different. So they did this PvP event with everybody over on the Jabbit mega servers. So the devs were issued level 50 characters with Warhawk quality items and they were prohibited from using any GM powers, supposedly. I think that's a bit unfair. I think they should have been allowed to use their
I
GM
call
powers.
bullshit on that because I saw some videos, and I'm gonna call some people. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
It would have been more fun. I think it would have been more fun if they'd allowed to
It would
use
have been fun
some
to have like a
GM powers.
50-foot tall jabbit killing people.
It would have made it a little bit more interesting. So I wasn't there either. I was working annoyingly when that happened. So if anybody did actually go to the event and did play the devs, then let us know, because I would be interested to see if there's any videos out there of it, or just generally let us know how it happened. That'd be super cool.
And send those videos care of healshotisawesome.com. And make sure I do take explicit pictures, and if the explicit pictures are good enough, I will then retweet those explicit pictures.
Is that actually an email address?
No, that's not.
You should get that now before someone steals it from you. That's what you should do.
Hey, I can just keep spinning the gold, and they can just keep buying stuff. I mean, there you go.
Yep, fair enough. Also, Wildstar Core are doing some awesome Wildstar box giveaways, if you don't know about it, over the next 7 weeks or so, through in-game events and events on Twitter, etc, etc. So keep an eye out on their Twitter, at Wildstar Core, and on their website. The box, you get exclusive items at the moment, or chances to get exclusive items through the boxes, so it's well worth trying to win some, if you don't want to go and buy some. Have you bought any boxes through this promotion?
I've bought boxes, and I'll tell you, it was fun and exciting. I've given a couple away on stream. I know several of the guys that are that play Wildstar, guys and gals. We've all bought some, and we're spreading the love. We want people to get those Hello Kitty mounts and all the fun things, and the outfits. We want everybody with a title. We want to have everybody with a title as soon as it goes free to play, so we can be like, we're better than you.
I like your vision. I like this vision. I want the fluffy blow up kitten too.
That's the only one I haven't got so far. I'm like 4 or 5 boxes in. Hopefully we'll get them
one
out
away from the set. I have to say it's a brilliant idea to try and get rid of the boxes, which obviously won't be needed after it goes free to play.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah,
Plus,
exactly.
right now they're so cheap. They're cheaper than getting a subscription. I think
are.
they hadn't thought this all the way through. I think I'm paying about they're on sale at GameStop right now for $7.99 in store. So I mean, you can just go in there and scoop up so much Wildstar time.
Clever people are doing this. Clever people are doing this. Yeah. Think of all that, extra subscription you're gonna get, and then when it goes free to play, you can get on the sub level. Get all the extra business for it. Yeah, it's just called planning ahead.
Stealing all my money. They're stealing all of it. Stealing it all.
It's a very clever idea. Very clever marketing strategy.
Best ever.
So, also in the community news, for those of you over on the NA servers, this is your side of the pond, Healshot. There were some rather nifty competitions going on, or coming up, which kind of puts us over in the EU to shame a little bit, and I think we should get off our backsides and do something similar. But the Black Dagger Society are hosting another housing competition, Lifestyles of Nexus 4. I think, did you say you've been to one of these competitions before?
I've actually looked up the YouTube videos and saw the stuff on the forums, because sometimes you can't always make it to every event, but I've actually went to one of them before, and it's just amazing that these people that spend so much time perfecting it and making it it's just amazing what they can do. We've got a couple people in my guild. Big shout out to the Crimson Cross. These guys do some crazy stuff when they do their competitions as well, and we've got some award winners amongst us that have made some really crazy things. And I love housing, so I'll just sit there and if there was a housing stream on right now, you wouldn't have got me to be on the show. I've been watching the housing show. Be like, wow, I could do that to my house. Let's see what we can do.
We did last year on the podcast. It was when we were streaming as well, and I did a little tour of my house, which at the time I thought was amazing. I thought I did really well. Created this little pub and everything else, and I realise now that it was absolutely rubbish. But do you know what? People actually really loved that. Just me going around my house showing them. I was amazed about how much people got engaged with just the housing. People
Yeah,
love
that's
it.
that's a small sector of Wildstar.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing that people actually will sit there and be like, hey, I guess he's decorating his house today. Let's watch him, move his bits and bobs for, 2.5 hours,
It's the Minecraft phenomenon, isn't it? That's what it is, I think. It's going
It has
from
to
there.
be. It has to
Yeah. So the Black Tiger Society hosting another housing competition. Judging will be taking place over the first 2 weeks of August, when the judges will visit all the plots that were entered into the competition and choose the winners in the following categories for each faction. So there'll be one for Exiles, one for Dominions. Quite nifty prizes as well if you want to enter, if you think your house is good enough. They have got the best overall, where you get 7 plat, and then 5 plat for each of the following categories: best theme, best indoor, best outdoor, and the most unique plot. So you can find out more about the forums when they're back up, which we'll talk about in a minute. And they've got a tiny URL, so you can go there quickly, which is tinyurl.com/lifestyles4. That's tinyurl.com/lifestyles4. I get this point in the podcast, Healshot, where I can't talk anymore. It's words are hard to speak. Eventually.
Speak is hard. Speak hard.
Speak words hard. So you have to bear with me now. Where you jump in and help out.
Oh, that's where I jump in and take over the show. It's my podcast. Fuck you guys. It's mine.
So there's another amazing community event, which we're not quite sure how this works. We had a little discussion about this at the beginning of the podcast, and we're like, I don't know how it works, but it must work somehow. But Pulp Fiction are hosting the Slaughter Dome Smash, which is a great name in itself. The first...
It's like Thunderdome.
It is like it, but not the same.
No, what I'm saying, the name, because I was fully in support of them calling the new Battleground when it goes free to play the Thunderdome.
Thunderdome, yeah, I'm with you on that one. So, Slaughter Dome Smash, I had to take a glass of water, I'm sorry. The first and best 3v3 arena tournament in Wildstar PvP. And how it works is, supposedly, there's a maximum of 24 teams in the tournament. Teams are accepted on a first-come, first-served basis, so sign up fast. Each player may be on a maximum of 1 team, and players playing under a different account on a separate team will be disqualified from the tournament. So don't be naughty and try to pretend to be somebody else when you're not somebody else. It doesn't work.
Why can't I pretend to be you, though?
You can pretend to be me if you like. If
I like pretending.
Get some long blonde hair and put it over.
I think I'd look cute in one wig.
No one will know. Yeah, it would suit you.
I'd be like, hi, I'm me. What?
Got to put on the British accent as well.
I know, right? I can't do a British accent. I've tried as hard as I can, but trying to do a female voice and a British accent, it turns out to be Mrs. Doubtfire. It just doesn't work.
That's your challenge. That is your challenge. I want this to happen. I want you streaming in a blonde wig doing a British accent, female British accent.
Yeah, I think I think everybody in Britain is gonna hate me. They're gonna be like, yeah, that Healshot guy, he butchered our language.
It doesn't matter. We're a long way away. When he started said red
right.
panda, I don't know whether she thinks that you should be a red panda.
I could be the girl red panda doing the British voice.
Accent. That's it. Right. That's what we need to do. Right, next stream, mini stabber. Make sure he does it. Let's be on him. Just remind him every time he streams until he does it. That's it. Can't get out of it now. You're in. You're hooked.
Damn it.
You're in. So you must submit your team's application in full by the 31st of July 2015. So you've still got a few days. On the Google form linked in the sign up section, and you can find a link on the Wildstar core website. Just go and have a look. It says on there about the Slaughter Dome Smash 3v3 competition. You can find out more details there. The only reason we were a bit confused about how it works is, from what I was reading, you don't fight the people that you're teamed up against. Is that right? You have to queue up for the arena.
Yeah, that's the part I'm just like, what? It's super confusing. So if anybody out there can help us figure it out, that'd be great.
I guess it's because it's hard to be able to work out how you can play each other. So they end up having to queue up in the arena, fight a team, and then you have to like do a screenshot of your results, and then one of the teams comes out on top. I'm not entirely sure how it works. I'm sure Pulp Fiction know how it works.
Yeah.
Hopefully, so you say one the competition. But it's an awesome idea for people who like PvP, because PvP in Wildstar needs a bit of a kick up the backside as well, doesn't it? So it's good to get them all up and running.
Waiting for those word plots.
So we normally have here a little lore segment. I don't know if you've heard our lore segments before, Healshot, but we have like Sparky does his little voiceover bit and tells a story of lore. But he's on holiday, so for some reason he hasn't done it. I don't know. He's over in Cyprus and he couldn't be bothered to record a lore segment. How dare he? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because what I'm going to do, it's not going to be here on the stream, but ready for YouTube and the iTunes podcast. We're going to do a clip from Man vs. Wildstar. Have you seen on YouTube the Machinima Man vs. Wildstar?
No, I haven't. I'll have to watch it.
You need to go and have a look at it. I'm not going to play the whole thing because they're like 10 minutes. He's only done 2 so far. But if you go onto YouTube and just search for Man vs. Wildstar, there's 2 great Machinimas up at the moment. I'm going to play the one from Wild Run. But basically, he pretends to be Bear Grylls. You know Bear Grylls? Have you heard of him?
Oh yes, I know Bear Grylls.
UK adventurer, and so
Bear Grylls. We're gonna go over there and we're gonna survive.
That's it. This guy's done a machinima of basically Bear Grylls in sort of Wild Run, and it's just very funny. I don't really want to explain it too much. You need to go and have a look and see for yourself. We'll play a little bit of a clip right here.
My name is Bear Grylls, and this is the planet Nexus. I travel to the 4 corners of the planet and show you how to survive in its diverse wilderness regions. Today, my task is to be dropped into the treacherous jungle of Wilderland, where the ancient and hostile tech of an abandoned civilization and the hungry wildlife that has taken over form a menagerie of death for would-be explorers. Because if you can't be used for spare parts, you're certainly on something's menu.
Did you fall down and die?
Oh god. Why would they even put that in the game? Carbine? I'm so angry I could just post on the forums!
Flames from the forums.
So this is quite funny this week. This segment, Healshot, is called Flames from the Forums. So I went on the forums to start doing the research for the podcast, and I was like, they're not there. The forums are down. The Wildstar forums are down.
No.
So that's like my flames from the forums. But I've got nowhere to vent my anger because the forums are down. So I can't go on the forums and complain that the forums are down.
No, that's why you go to Twitter and complain.
Well, that's kind of what I did. I went on Twitter and then found out why the forums were down. There was a tweet that was put out by Wildstar on the 24th of July, so that was a couple of days ago, with a link to the Wildstar Reddit page, which is kind of where this discussion has gone on to, that just says, "Hi everyone," sort of all casual, just so people don't get too upset. "Hi everyone. Mm-hmm. Just to give you a quick update, we took the Wildstar forums down Friday morning for a potential security issue. As of now, we're still in maintenance and analysing what happened. As soon as we've got it figured out, we'll provide more information, but we're anticipating the forums being down all weekend at the very best. We apologise for the inconvenience." What I found quite funny was that on Twitter it said, "The forums are down, please see this link for more information." And I'm thinking there wasn't really a lot more information on the link, to be honest. So they've had some
they're down.
They're down.
That's all the information we have.
They're down because of a potential security issue. Nobody likes potential security issues, so I'd like to know what the potential security issue is.
I'd like to know if I'm going to have to worry about Nigerian princes trying to give me money again or something like that.
Gold farmers hacking into our accounts and ignoring our money.
That's why you need two-step verification. Here's Healshot's PSA.
If you haven't got it,
get two-step verification, people.
Now's a very good time to get it because you never know. Someone might have your account information, which is quite funny because Sparky, I don't think, has his at the moment because he had issues with his two-step. I'm hoping he's got that sorted out. Otherwise, he might come back and have a naked toon with no money.
That'd be awesome.
I think we should, just in case, you should stream it so that if that is the case, we just see it. Naked Sparky. So no further updates been given about the breach and how it may affect players, if at all, or when the forums will be back online. So watch this space. So this week's Flames from the Forums is the forums are down! Boo-hoo. So that's that. So now we have add-on of the week. So let's play the sound of add-on of the week.
Okie dokie.
In 300 yards, turn right.
No. I know a shortcut up here.
Please turn around when possible.
No, I know this way is
I'm
faster.
an advanced GPS-stabilizing quantum-powered universal guidance system with bonus sarcasm and condescending modules built in, you lumbering oaf. Please follow the damn directions or face destruction.
These add-ons are starting to piss me off.
So Mini Stabber just put in the chat room while I was playing that bumper that they did indeed have a gold spam attack. So there you go. I guess they're trying to find out how it happened, when it happened, and how it's affected people. So we'll just wait and see. And in the meantime, you can have a look at our add-on of the week, which this week is Interruptor. Which has got a great name in itself, isn't it? You like that name?
Yeah, it's like Interrupter.
Yeah, exactly.
It just evokes that primal guttural scream. Interrupter.
You do it very well as well. I like that. So this add-on is supposed to show everything related to interrupting in an intuitive and uncomplicated way. See, they're learning from Carbine's stat changes where they name their add-on based on what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Clever thinking. So
and it helps. I've used this one. That's great. I actually use this one.
Are you using it at the moment?
Yes, I'm using it at the moment. It's
awesome.
Great.
See, I did download it. I've been giving it a go, and I like it too. So they have a green bar for interruptible cast, a red bar for uninterruptible cast, a purple bar for moment of opportunity. Small blue bars represent interrupt armor and turn green when destroyed, and yellow when you did it. So just basically lots of different pretty colours. How are you finding it then? Is it helping?
Oh, it helps a lot because you're always having problems in dungeons, especially when you're playing with people that you're not in voice comms with, that, you got to find an interrupt order and all this, and this just makes it easy. I mean, everybody gets the add-on, everybody can coordinate interrupts. There's no more, I'm going to interrupt, then you interrupt, then we interrupt. You can actually set the order up right there within the add-on, and it makes everything nice, crisp, and clean. Best add-on in A right there.
Yeah, because the default UI, we've talked about it before, it's quite difficult sometimes to see because the sort of default is down the bottom, isn't it, of the screen, and it's not kind of where your eyes are necessarily. Whereas with this, it's kind of places it in a position where you can see it while you're in the action when you're fighting. So it's much more easier to use, much smoother, and like you say, coordination, spot on. So go and download Interrupter from Curse. It's up to date and ready to go. We like the up-to-date add-ons. That is the thing. So next up, we've got no tweets of the week this week. No tweets of the week. There's not been anything that I found particularly funny. Did you see any interesting tweets this week?
Not this week. I mean, Twitter's not really been hot about, Wildstar stuff.
It's been very quiet, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been quiet. I blame the forums. The forums being down, I think, is what it is. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to have any witty things to say because the forums are down. They're just like, no, not going to do it.
You're going to blame everything on the forums. It's all the forums' fault.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah, exactly.
So So I had just in case we didn't go over the hour. I think we've pretty much done it. Actually, I think we've done all right. But what I did, because it's been a slow news week, I put some little questions up to sort of fill in the time. And we probably don't need to do it, but I actually quite like the questions, so I'm going to do it anyway. Seeing as we're streaming as well, let's give something for the streamers to look at.
Yeah.
So here is my time grinder questions. So, Healshot. If Disney is remaking Snow White, right, and has cast you as the 8th dwarf, what's your name?
Filthy. They should just call me Filthy.
Filthy.
Because the whole movie, it would just be them hitting the bleep button. Because Snow White would come up to me and ask me, like, "Ooh, should we go over here?" I'm like, "Penis!" I ain't going anywhere. I'm tired. I'm filthy.
You've actually been quite good this podcast. I don't think I have to use the bleep button very often.
I know. It's amazing. I try to behave. I try to.
Well done. You get a pat on the back for that. A gold star.
Penis! Gold star.
Oh, so we've had 2 in a minute. I said. So Healshot, it's 3:30 a.m. in the morning. It's very, very early, right? You've woken up with an insane craving for what?
Probably, if it's 3:30, probably alcohol. Yeah, going straight to the fridge for alcohol. Getting either a beer or a nice liquor. I usually like my vodka, so I'm going straight to the fridge for a screwdriver so I can go right back to sleep.
Is this something you need to talk about?
Do you have a problem? Are you an alcoholic?
See, for me, it's
No.
cheese. Cheese is my thing. I love cheese. I always have a craving for cheese. Occasionally alcohol, but normally cheese. All right, if you were going to perform in a circus, what would you do?
What would I do? I'd probably be a clown because I could probably pull it off. Do some slapstick style comedy. Because definitely, I'd be a clown. Definitely.
I think I'd be a trapeze artist.
I'd probably make fun of the trapeze artist because I'd be on the ground as a clown, just swinging on a rope, going back and forth and back and forth. Back.
Throwing tomatoes at me or something.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay, last one. Welcome Healshot to Suicide Karaoke. Okay, you've got to sing. You have to sing, and your life depends on it. What's the song you're going to? What song is going to save your life?
What song is going to save my life? It's probably Katy Perry. I Kissed a Girl, and I liked it.
Nice.
I'd break out into it, and I'd just be like, "I kissed a girl, and I liked it." I'd so do it. I'm not gonna sing the rest. Not singing the rest for copyright reasons, but you get the gist. I would just be into it, just rubbing my body, doing my best Katy Perry impression.
That's very good.
I'd just do it.
I think I'd do a Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus.
Wrecking Ball. Yeah, I would do the duet with you. I'd be like, I came in like a wrecking ball. I would so do that.
That's what you do. A duet. Draycass and Healshot do Wrecking Ball. You could do a machinima of that. That might work.
Oh yes, that would work. That would work.
That would definitely work. So that's it. That is it for the Geeks of Nexus podcast, episode number 12. Thank you very much, Healshot, for being on the show. It's been awesome, and I'm pretty sure if you will come back, we will have you back as well. We need to
Definitely.
We need to have this voice off with Sparky.
The epic voice off. It sounds dirty, but it's not.
I think that will work incredibly well. So just remind everybody, Healshot, where they can find you on the interwebs.
On the interwebs, the quickest and easiest way to get a hold of Healshot is twitter.com/Healshot, or you can find me on Twitch because I'm there all the time. It is twitch.tv/Healshot. I keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes. Take that away from the broadcast. Healshot said it. Keep it simple, stupid. Just
You're not
keep
going
it
to
simple.
take anything away from this podcast. It's that.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yes,
one.
exactly.
That one thing. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on one of the podcast apps, you can find us even on our website. Because we are part of the Epic Geeks Network. You can find out more information about us and other shows on epicgeeks.co.uk. You can follow this show on Twitter at Geeks of Nexus. You can follow us on Twitch. Just search for Epic Geeks. And you can find us on YouTube, official Epic Geeks. There. You can also find me at Draycass. That's a lot of information to look for. So just go to the website, epicgeeks.co.uk. You can find everything there. It's all there.
All in one.
All in one. We look forward to seeing you next week when I think Sparky's going to be back. I'm not entirely sure. He said he'd be back in 5 days or so. So he might be back. But if he's not, I'll be here. With someone, might even be Healshot. You never know. Whoever I can find to come and have a stupid chat with me. So thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
This podcast is part of the Epic Geeks Network. To find out more about our other gaming podcasts, head to epicgeeks.co.uk.